On this accord, U128D means the auto high beam control unit has lost communication with the gauge control module. In plain terms, the auto high beam system may not be hearing from the module it needs on the body communication network. The driver may notice the auto high beam function not working, a lighting-related message, or the rest of the vehicle may seem mostly normal. Broadly, this can involve gauge control module power and ground, the beacon communication lines, fuse feeds, or loose and poor connector contact. If other body network codes are present, do not chase this code in isolation. Handle the beacon multiple code checks first. Start by proving the fault is active. Clear the DTCs with the HDS. Press the engine start/stop button to OFF, then back on. Wait for at least 6 seconds, then check DTCs again with the HDS. If U128D comes right back, continue into the circuit checks. If U128D does not return, treat it as an intermittent failure for now. The system is okay at this time, and the next move is checking for loose or poor connections. Next, use the HDS body electrical menu to look at the beacon connected control unit's information. Check whether the gauge control module shows as detect. If the gauge control module is detected on the network, skip ahead to the beacon line check between the auto high beam control unit and the gauge control module. If the gauge control module is not detected, stay with the gauge control module power, fuse, ground, and network feed path first. When the gauge control module is not detected, check fuse no. A21 rated 10A in the underhood fuse/relay box and fuse no. B5 rated 7, 5A in the underdash fuse/relay box. If the fuses are okay, keep moving down the power and ground checks. If a fuse is not okay, replace the fuse. If it blows again, repair a short to ground in the no. A2110A and slash or no. B5 7, 5A fuse circuit. With the start/stop button in OFF mode, disconnect gauge control module connector A, the 32P connector. Measure voltage on the plus B backup circuit from connector A terminal no. 1. The WHT wire to body ground. If there is battery voltage, that backup feed is okay and you move to the ignition feed. If there is not battery voltage, repair an open or high resistance in that wire. Now press the start/stop button to on mode and leave the gauge control module connector A disconnected. Measure the IG 1 meter circuit from connector A terminal no. 17. The BRN wire to body ground. If there is battery voltage, the IG 1 meter wire is okay and the next check is ground. If there is not battery voltage, repair an open or high resistance in that wire. Switch back to OFF mode. With gauge control module connector A still disconnected, check continuity to body ground on the ground circuits individually. Connector A terminal no. 4. BRN and connector A terminal no. 32. BRN. If both have continuity, the ground wires are okay and you move to the beacon line check. If continuity is missing, repair an open or high resistance in the ground wire, or a poor ground at G502. For the not detected path, disconnect the auto high beam control unit 6P connector. With the system in OFF mode, the gauge control module connector A disconnected, and the auto high beam control unit connector disconnected. Check continuity on the beacon H circuit between the auto high beam control unit 6P connector no. 2. PNK and gauge control module connector A no. 30. PNK. If there is continuity, the diagnostic result points to an open or poor connection in the beacon L wire between the auto high beam control unit and the gauge control module. If there is not continuity, it points to an open or poor connection in the beacon H wire between those modules. If the gauge control module did show detect earlier, the path goes directly to the beacon line check. Put the vehicle in OFF mode. Disconnect gauge control module connector A, the 32P connector, and disconnect the auto high beam control unit connector. Before probing this branch, pause and verify the exact auto high beam control unit connector callout at the vehicle, because the connector designation for this test point is not consistent. The circuit logic is still the same. Check continuity on beacon H between the auto high beam control unit No. 2 PNK terminal and gauge control module connector a No. 30 PNK. If continuity is present, the result points to an open or poor connection in beacon L. If continuity is not present, the result points to an open or poor connection in beacon H. After correcting the fuse, feed, ground, or beacon wiring issue found by the path, verify it the same way you proved the fault. Clear the DTCs with the HDS, cycle OFF and on, wait for at least 6 seconds and confirm U128D does not return. The takeaway is simple. Prove the code first. Use the gauge module detect status to choose the branch. Then separate power, ground, and beacon line faults without guessing. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.